thrilled to announce that SoftBank will be investing $100 billion in America, creating 100,000 American jobs at a minimum.
He didn't do nothing except those big tax cuts.
How do you respond to that?
Very easily.
Let's go.
Trump isn't even the sitting president yet, and he's already created 100,000 jobs. How did he pull that off? SoftBank has agreed to pay to invest in America, keep the jobs here. That's how the whole world is responding to Trump right now. We're on fire.
One of the most urgent tasks, not only for our movement, but for our country, is to decisively defeat the climate hysteria hoax. The ocean is...
Everyone else wants to get on board the winning train. The only sign of hope, light, and leadership in the world of politics and governments is coming from the USA and Donald Trump. Welcome to John Mike Keane.
And we've just concluded a very productive meeting, and today I'm thrilled to announce that SoftBank will be investing $100 billion in America, creating 100,000 American jobs at a minimum. And he's doing this because he feels very optimistic about our country since the election.
My confidence level to the economy of the United States has tremendously increased with his victory.
By the way, the $100 billion that SoftBank is going to invest in, a lot of it is going to tech. A whole lot of it is going to AI. They're going to be funding our AI technology, which, by the way, the Democrats said that they wanted to get on top of and control from the government our private citizens and private businesses' AI.
We had meetings in D.C. in May where we talked to them about this, and the meetings were absolutely horrifying, and we came out basically deciding we had to endorse Trump.
Mark, add so little color to absolutely horrifying. What did you hear in those meetings?
They said, look, AI is one of these AI is a technology basically that the government is going to completely control. This is not going to be a startup thing. They actually said flat out to us, don't do AI startups. Like don't fund AI startups. It's not something that we're going to allow to happen. They're not going to be allowed to exist. There's no point. They basically said AI is going to be a game of 2 or 3 big companies working closely with the government. And we're going to basically wrap them in I'm paraphrasing, but we're going to basically wrap them in a government cocoon. We're going to protect them from competition. We're going to control them, and we're going to dictate what they do. And then I said, I don't understand how you're going to lock this down so much, because like the math for, AI is like out there and it's being taught everywhere. And, they literally said, during the Cold War, we classified entire areas of physics, and took them out of the research community, and like entire branches of physics basically went dark and didn't proceed. And that if we decide we need to, we're going to do the same thing to the math underneath AI.
It would have been terrible under Kamala Harris, a giant Leviathan totalitarian state using its AI to get into your life, your files, and control you. That's Hillary's dream, is to control you and control free speech. And now this money's being put into business, put into freedom, bringing it in from other countries. And now instead of the money going to that country, they're bringing it over here.
So because of that, I'm now excited to commit this $100 billion and 100,000 jobs into the United States. This is double of last time, as President Trump said.
Now that's double. So you can just look at our economic recovery. It would have been half under Kamala Harris or under Biden. Half. It's double under Trump. Here's Daniel Baldwin. New Trump announces that any person or company that invests $1 billion in the U.S. will receive expedited approvals and permits. Trump has also pledged to lower the business tax rate to 15% for companies that make their products domestically. Business is booming under Trump. Now, here's the post where he made it, and I believe this is why SoftBank invested $100 billion. They saw this message from Trump. He went out trolling for business, and he got it. He says any person or company investing $1 billion or more in the United States of America will receive fully expedited approvals and permits, including, but in no way limited to, all environmental approvals. Get ready to rock. So he is pushing back on the environmentalists, the green movement.
In the meantime, our factories can't perform. They want us to use wind, intermittent wind. Darling, I'd like to watch the president tonight on television. No, you can't. The wind isn't blowing, right? The wind isn't blowing. There's no television tonight, darling. The wind isn't blowing. And by the way, our house went down to about 30% of the value because we're near a windmill that makes a lot of noise, kills all our birds, and ruins the landscape. Other than that, it's a wonderful thing for the environment. These people are crazy. Fear-mongering about climate and our future is no longer just scaring American youth. It's destroying America's economy, weakening our society, and eviscerating our middle class. It's really hurting us. And conservative leaders, think tanks, and intellectuals must be fearless in calling out the lunacy of what you're seeing and what you're being led into. The world is not ending. Our future is not dying.
The Green New Deal and all those religious Gaia-worshiping psychos. And he's saying, we're pro-business. America's open for business.
Because I say, oh, President Trump is a double-down president. I'm going to have to double down, $100 billion and 100,000 jobs. This is, my confidence level because that has doubled down. So I am truly excited to make this happen. And of course, business is important. Technology is important. But one more thing I'm really hoping is that this President Trump would make the world, bring the world into peace again. That's my additional hope.
That is so touching in that he's not just saying, I want to make a profit, but Trump, save the world. Can you bring peace again? Because Joe Biden screwed everything up, made everything violent, set the world on fire. Trump, save the world. That's what he's saying. Now, here's Barack Obama telling lies about what Trump is going to do. And he lies, of course, about his own record.
He didn't do nothing except those big tax cuts.
How do you respond to that?
Very easily. I was working in finance during Barack Obama's administration. Let me tell you, the economy under his especially the last 5 years, was growing at about 1 to 1.5% per year. I think at the time, President Obama was saying that, this era of large economic growth is something of the past. We're going to have a more consistent economy. Well, in his words, a consistent economy meant one that barely grew. So when Donald Trump came in, he brought his tax cut policy in, which cut taxes across the board for everybody in our country. Couple the fact that he did cut massive regulations from the Obama administration. And what did we see? Economic growth in the United States went from 1.5% under Barack Obama to 3.5% under Donald Trump.
And that's going to continue. Watch the negative numbers start to go up. Now, Trump does not have a media to lie for him and try and push his economy up like Biden did. But lo and behold, the lying can't win because the Americans start to feel it in their pocketbooks. You'll feel it in your pocketbook. You'll feel it in food prices. Remember, they're going to go up a little bit at first because of the tariffs are going to drive prices up. But once other countries respond and start lowering their prices to get us to lower our tariffs, all of the prices are going to crash to lower than they ever were before.
Wages adjusted for inflation, like I said, because it's the truth, increased for every subgroup of Americans in our country. The wealth gap was closing. We were actually booming economically far more than we did under Barack Obama. So that's a cool statement he made on the stump, but it's not true.
Obama, everyone always only covers for Democrats. So you can't believe what even these economists, like the magazine The Economist, they always covered for Obama. They lied. You guys know how this works now. People who talk in general, who talk about politics, who are pro-Democrat, have less of an interest in truth than in getting you to support Democrat control of your lives. I'm John Mike Keene.